Welcome to Power Conversation with Councilman OD Harris. Today we have a fabulous show lined up with you. We have Miss Juneteeth as well as Pretty Precise Stepping Team. Listen, today's going to be a great show. Get ready for Power Conversations with Councilman OD Harris. Welcome to Power Conversations. Today we have Miss Juneteeth in the building. We have Drea and we have Kendall. How you guys doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good. So good to see you guys looking all queenish,
You know.
Fabulous, I'm loving this look,
Thank you.
So, Miss Juneteeth. Okay, so I don't even know who I should start with, but I'll just put it out there. You guys look beautiful.
Thank you.
And thank you for being a beautiful representation of our Chandler community.
Of course.
You guys are wearing those crowns very, very well.
Thank you.
So we got to get right into the tough questions. Tell us, and I'll start with you. Tell us about getting into the pageant. Tell us about the journey to the crown. Tell us from your perspective, the journey to the crown.
Okay, so I personally grew up watching Toddlers and Tiaras, so I was all into the glam, the glitz, the drama. So when I had seen that fuchsia magenta post come up on my Instagram page, I was like, I think it's my time. I think I'm going to live this childhood aspiration of mine. And actually, the journey to pageantry has been very different from what I had seen on TV originally. You know, you watch Toddlers and Tiaras and it's the drama and she's running behind backstage and the mom is crying and she doesn't get it. But my journey with pageantry, as far as the Miss Juneteeth pageant goes, was a really positive one. I enjoyed all the relationships that I had made with the contestants. They're my sisters for life.
Yeah.
I love the sisterhood that I had built with them. And I think that's really important as far as pageantry goes, not only having the people with you backstage to prep you for the pageant throughout your weeks or months for the pageant, but also having the contestants as like your supporters too. You guys are a family even after the crowning starts. So I really enjoyed that about my journey.
So the journey has been a family gathering journey.
Yes.
Like, come on, mama, cousin,
Yes.
other sister. You my cousin, you my sister now. So that's kind of what it's been.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's what I like. All right, Kendall, how has your journey to the crown has been? What was that journey been like?
It was different for me. I'm not really outgoing as much as I would like to be. And so my freshman year history teacher, Gloria Garzawell, shout out to her. She was the one, she saw the post and she was like, you should do this. I think you'd be perfect for it. You're a good speaker, and you know your stuff. And I was like, that's not really my forte. Like, I appreciate your recommendation, but it's not really where I see myself. But, she was like, I'll sponsor you, I'll help you out, whatever you need. I got you, just please go out and try it for me. So I tried it and it worked out well. I met so many good people along the way and I've just learned a lot of new lessons through it. So yeah.
Nice. Well, I got a chance to go to the pageant and see you guys get crowned right here in Chandler. There was a part of, I know that South Chandler Help, an organization that actually that put this on, that led this initiative. But there was something that was very powerful, and I wanted to get your response to it. Was at the end, each parent or model person had words of affirmation, and I just kind of wanted for you guys to share what your thoughts was on the words of affirmation that you received from your parents.
I think it was beautiful. My mom has always spoke highly of me, and her current boyfriend had also spoke very highly of me as well. I just liked having this support system, and I think it's a really beautiful part to incorporate in a pageant. I've never seen that done before. I was honestly surprised that we were doing it, but I think it helped the momentum for crowning. I think that's what I liked most about it.
Okay, What about you?
I agree. I feel like we were all winners, even though like not everyone got crowned, but we got to hear words from the people that were closest to us, and it was a surprise. So I was bawling my eyes out. I was trying so hard to like cover my face and stay composed, but once my dad started speaking, and my mom, she was in Virginia at the time, so I was just thinking about how he was speaking for the both of them, and I just felt so loved and special and supported.
That's amazing. You
Yeah.
guys, I'm gonna tell you, you guys are repping it very, very
Thank
well.
you.
Thank
And
you.
you know what? One of the things that I'm really proud because I got a chance firsthand. In the city of Chandler, we had the opportunity to campaign for a non-discrimination ordinance,
Mhm.
and I feel like Miss Juneteenth has been a big part of that campaign. But also, I want to start with the first thing that we passed, which was Juneteenth,
Yeah.
it being a holiday. You have some words
Yeah.
to share
Yeah.
about that. I wanted to know what inspired you. Now everyone can go and watch it online, but what inspired you? Why are you so passionate about being Miss Juneteenth? You can be Miss America. You can be anything, but you said I want to be Miss Juneteenth. Why does what tell us about what does that mean to you to be Miss Juneteenth? Of any other one you can be, you chose I want to step up and be Miss Juneteenth.
I think that Juneteenth itself as a holiday has, yes, been celebrated throughout many years, hundred of years. However, it's not well known as much as you would think it would be, having been such a long holiday, the longest African American holiday for that matter.
Yes.
But I think that being Miss Juneteenth in itself, it's greater than being, not necessarily greater, but because I love me some Miss USAs
Right.
and Miss
Okay.
Internationals,
Yes.
but
Okay.
I think it's different for the Black diaspora in the United States of America. Not only is Juneteenth a holiday, not only do we have celebrations and the cookouts, not only do we have the food trucks and the elaborate decorations celebrating the commencement of slavery in the United States of America, but you also have Black women who set that standard for Black beauty in America. So I think that Juneteenth in itself collaborates with the celebration, yes, of African American history in the United States, but it also celebrates Black people in itself, Black beauty in itself, men or women.
Yeah, I really like that. And Kendall, and what does it mean to you? I mean, you got a chance, you represent two different categories of age groups, and we'll talk about those categories of age groups right after this.
Mhm.
But what does it mean to you to be Miss Juneteenth?
It was honestly a great opportunity to be able to be an inspiration and someone that young Black girls can look up to and young Black people in general. I love being able to put my voice out there and speak on Juneteenth as a holiday and its importance and why it should have been passed as a holiday. It was great, and I just feel like it really helps younger Black people to get out of their shell and realize, you know what, I matter. The things I celebrate, I shouldn't be embarrassed of them or ashamed of them. I should be able to go out and do it and be myself. So yeah.
That's awesome. And you guys are in two different age categories. Share your age category that you represent, and then also if you can share your peers. What is your thoughts on your peers? Because it changes up. Like one minute you was just a person, a student, and then all of a sudden now you have this elevated platform, and in the work that you guys are doing, because you guys are everywhere. Okay, everywhere. I don't even know when you guys sleep.
Me
Is that
neither.
even possible?
Yeah.
Make it
Chandler
work.
Self Help have been doing great things in the community for a very long time, 30 plus years, being led by Rodney, Elaine, host. I don't want to get the name and names because I start messing up. I'll get some emails after this like, you forgot my name. So Chandler Self Help as a
Mhm.
whole has been keeping you all busy. And so tell us about the transition. You're no longer normal. You're not like everyone else. You're on TV, you're at events. We want you there. We want to hear what you have to say. Tell us about that journey. Tell us about how that journey has been.
I like it so
Okay.
far. I love it so far. I think that initially it had moved very fast. I know I was going to do stuff Juneteenth day. Like I knew, I
Yeah.
was like, what am I gonna do tomorrow? What am I gonna do tomorrow? Originally, after I had, not even after, but before I had did the Miss Juneteenth pageant, I was like, I want to go to Southern University and I want to do their dog camp. Couldn't even do it because I had Miss Juneteenth work to do.
Wow.
So I'm very blessed with the opportunities that I've gotten just from being crowned. But as soon that day after I got crowned, I already had stuff to do. And I
Right.
loved it, honestly. It was a little tiring because, you know, I just got crowned and then I had to stay up and I'm like, wow, this is really this, like, oh my God, this is really it. But even following the day of the pageant, I was so happy.
It's
And
surreal. It feels surreal, don't it?
exactly. I loved meeting everybody. Everybody's like, who are you? And I'm still kind of getting used to it, but I love it so much. I cherish it a lot. It's one of my favorite things about the crown.
Yeah, I love that you're so humble with it too.
Yeah.
You know, I think that what I appreciate when I see Miss Juneteenth, you know, I always hear positive reports about you guys. I always hear about the wonderful things that you're doing and how you're helping other people. But I like the fact that you guys are a role model to your age group. Kendall, why don't you share what this has been? You know, you are a role model. You're no longer set aside. I know everybody want your opinion on a lot of stuff, and I know your behavior has to be a little bit different in school because everything you say they're listening to.
My behavior stayed the same. I've always been a good kid.
Yes.
Always.
All right.
But yeah, it was definitely different because I was different from other kids at my school. Like, I was like, yeah, I'm a queen. I won a pageant. I go out, I meet people, I talk, I do this, I do that. Like, it was great. It was it's always fun telling people
Yeah.
and getting their reactions. They'd be like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
You got a crown and stuff? I'm like, yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was fun going to all the events, kind of like what Drea said, going to events the day after being crowned. Woof! I did not get a good night's sleep.
Okay.
But I did enjoy it.
It's
I met,
work.
it is. It
It's
is. But
work.
it didn't feel like work because I enjoyed it and I met so many people. I got to share my voice and my experience. So it didn't feel like a job. It just felt like I was given the opportunity to do something. So yeah.
I'm so very proud of you guys.
you.
You guys, every time I'm around you guys, I just feel the energy, the love, the connection. But I think from a culture perspective, you're raising the bar. You know, in the city of Chandler, we passed Juneteenth. Your voice was heard for the record. That meant a lot. We passed a non-discrimination ordinance. And I know without your voice, we wouldn't be as far along. Do you think Miss Juneteenth should have a voice in politics, or do you think Miss Juneteenth should be continue to be the advocate for the community?
I think that Miss Juneteenth can honestly do both. You can advocate for your community, and you could also advocate for politics as well. Juneteenth is surrounded, you know, with the whole government and stuff like that. The reason why Juneteenth got passed was because of the government. I think that politics has a lot to do, even with the current day and age now. It's good that she is well caught up on what's happening in the world. How does she feel about it? How do others feel about it? How does her community feel about it? So that she can also relate with her community and be like, yeah, I have that problem too. And they can make a difference together. It just goes a really long way. I'm politically involved. I was a part of the primary election campaign under Jennifer Germain. I was under the general election campaign with Jennifer Pollock and Cindy Hans. And I also got a paid internship with the Progressive Turnout Project as well. So I
You
love my
involved.
politics. Yeah.
I like how you don't allow your politics to overshine what you're doing. You do it in such a classy, subtle way. I think that, you know, hearing you share that, yeah, there probably is room there for Miss Juneteenth to speak up for the community, because that's what we want.
Yeah.
Miss Juneteenth, I think when I see a pageant winner, I want her to speak on behalf of our community. So, Miss Kendall, I want to ask you this question. I want to ask you as well. What's next for you? What are you working on? What is the project that you're working on right now, or what is something that you see yourself working on in the future?
Okay, so my platform for the pageant was to bring awareness and stop child trafficking because in Arizona there are hotspots for it. And I love kids. It was hard to talk about that topic, but it needed to be said. And so recently I've joined a nonprofit and I plan on starting one solely focused on stopping child trafficking. And so that's my next step. And I hope to have it done by, well, once I graduate, so 2025.
Okay. What about you?
So what's next in store for me is that I am a senior at Chandler High School. I will be graduating May of 2023. I have recently got accepted into a few colleges such as ASU, Alabama A&M, Grambling,
Okay.
Winston-Salem. I'm still waiting for a few more. However, I do want to attend an HBCU, and I plan to earn my bachelor's degree in political science, probably double major in secondary education and minor in history, so that I can become a future lawyer or a future history teacher, or maybe both.
Okay. Hey, I like it. I like it. I like it all together. I like it all together. Well, truly, you guys are wearing this crown with grace. But I want to ask you one last question. I think this is the last question I'm going to ask you. You went to compete for the national Miss Juneteenth title. You got to fill us in. What's the scoop? You got to give us a scoop on that. How was that experience?
I really enjoyed my time out in Texas. I think that the only time I was really in Texas was for a pit stop for a family reunion, going down to Mississippi. But I really like Galveston, Texas. It was really different. Houston traffic is packed. I don't know how I'm going to do it if I decide to go to college out in Texas, because Houston traffic is packed. I went to go eat at Turkey Leg Hut. That was really good. And I enjoyed meeting the contestants that were along with me. We really had a short amount of time to get to know each other, but I still talk to them here and there, and they're doing very, very good. So yeah, I really like the relationship that I had built with NJOF in Texas, and for the pageant itself. They seem like a really well-knit community, and it was nice to be a part of that. So I loved my experience out in Texas as far as like the whole pageantry part goes. Preparing for the pageant was really, really tiresome, so I did enjoy my time. I enjoyed my leisure time to go out and explore. But yeah, I would definitely go back to Galveston. I really liked it.
All right, so you guys have been great, and I appreciate it. What is one piece of advice that you both would give to a student who may be seeking to be a pageant winner in the future, or someone that is maybe an everyday, may not have necessarily a pageant in mind, but want to be successful or looking to make these transitions in their life? What would you say to a student your age?
I would say to a student my age to take it all day by day. As a senior about to graduate in 2023, there have been times even previously before my senior year where I'm just burnt out from school.
Yes.
Yeah.
Education is really important. Obviously, I would want to be a history teacher one day, so I understand that education is important and education is top. However, it does get consuming over time, and you do get burnt out. It gets cold. You don't want to get up and go to bed. me.
Right.
But I'd say to take it day by day, and don't stress yourself out, because it will eventually get done. You won't be you're in your junior year forever. You're not going to get held back. Just keep focusing on what you're doing. Make school one of your top priorities, and just go with the flow with everything. Roll with the punches.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Go ahead, Kendall. What? Queen. Miss Juneteenth. Miss Juneteenth.
I would tell my peers and kids my age to just give everything you have. Like, at the end of the day, you can't blame yourself if you gave everything you had. You did everything you were capable of. At the end of the day, there's no one, you can't blame yourself. You can just say, okay, I did what I could for this opportunity, and maybe it didn't work out, so I'll move on to the next. And maybe it does work out, and I'll keep giving it my all, and it'll keep paying off, because eventually it does pay off.
You know what? I would say keep doing what you guys are doing. You make a whole city proud. I'm very, very proud of you guys. I get a chance to see you guys more than just here on set, but outside the community. And I got to honestly say that your parents did an amazing job raising two beautiful young women, as well as the Rodney and the South Chandler Help team for picking you guys to be the queens. And I thank you guys so much. Mm-hmm. Up next, we have Pretty Precise Stepping Team. Latika and Shy shares their story of how they started their foundation. I bet you wish you had a sister, but that cannot be touched. And welcome back to another segment of Power Conversation. Today, we're going to be discussing the art of dance. We have a phenomenal ladies here who's going to be talking to us about Pretty Precise Step Team. Welcome to the show, Latika and Shy. How you guys doing?
We're doing fabulous.
All right. So you guys started in a phenomenal step team. What was the foundation? How did you get it started? How did you get it going? And what has been your process up to this point?
Doing the paperwork, I've been a nurse 25 years, right? So starting a nonprofit was interesting. You need a lot of support from people around you, especially to keep the business going, because you think like nonprofit, boom, I'm going to be able to get support here financially and stuff like that. But it was it was a challenge because I'm kind of a closed person. I wasn't like I'm not real talkative. Like you
Right.
even told me one time before, like you're not like you got to get in there, And so I am the type of person like if I get there first, okay, well, but I really had to open up and start having these conversations. And the biggest part of starting a nonprofit is believing in what you do. So believing in what we do, believing in the girls that they are even worth, having these conversations and getting in front of people and, starting to talk. As a nurse, you're caring for people, but I had to learn like a whole nother side, right? It was difficult because, like, even financially, I went from being a nurse of 20 something years and working at the bedside. And you know how it is for nurses during the pandemic. They was like, you get a check and you get a check, right?
Right.
But it was so horrible
Right.
mentally,
Yeah.
So getting into it was a change,
Yeah.
trying to adjust and, engaging in the community. Chandler, the people here have been amazing in support. I would like to see more businesses in Chandler support us. We do have other cities and they kind of all over us. And I'm like, Chandler, we right
Where
here.
you at? Where
We
you at?
right down the street, right? So since I've been getting out more and doing today's, show with you as well, it'll be important to make, the city around us more aware of,
What do you so the what do you think the biggest challenge being a non for profit in a city that you've been in for the last few years? What's been your biggest struggle
who
outside of getting money and
uh,
finding partners?
right, right. So
Probably two biggest one.
understanding,
Yeah,
the
understand.
process,
Right.
because people are not very truthful when they come and
Right.
talk about nonprofits,
Yeah.
right? You think automatically I'm gonna go here, they're gonna be like, yay, I'm in, but you have to learn the business side. You have to have everything, all your ducks in a row, your websites. You have to learn, the verbiage, and like I said, create these positive relationships. So I think other than getting the kids, they come from all over, and just making people understand and really explaining what you do, right? Because culturally, step is not a big thing. We are the only step team in Arizona,
Wow.
right? We are the
Mhm.
only team. A few schools have tried, or whatever, but we are the
We're the
only
only community team.
community-based step team,
Right.
right? And for a while, and that's just only up until I think one of the schools started one about 2 weeks ago. I mean, 2 months ago, maybe, if that, one performance. So pretty precise for the last 3 years has been holding it down in that culture.
Yeah.
So getting people aware. A lot of times the girls will go and they'll do like a dynamic performance, and people kind of just look at them with a straight face, and it's
Yeah.
like, y'all got to learn how to yell, cheer them on, because that's what gets them hyped.
That's the culture side
Yeah,
of
so
it. Okay.
teaching the culture to the people
Yeah.
around us have been, yeah, one of the biggest
You're
challenges.
gonna have to put a disclaimer out there like, hey, girl, hey, you guys, y'all need to come out here yelling and screaming and hollering
Yeah,
because that's that energy
That
that they need. That's gonna fuel them
yeah, for
to
sure.
step harder and do it even better,
Yeah, you've seen them
Oh,
and you've seen it.
of course. I seen them
Yeah,
firsthand.
yeah.
But I do think that what you guys have is something very special. I
Thank you.
was familiar with one school that was in a historically black high school in Phoenix that was doing a step team, and I don't know where they are now with it, but I do know that the pandemic did wipe away a lot of our arts
Yeah,
because people
yeah.
weren't able to do it, and you guys are leading the way. So I say thank you for
thank
Thank
that.
you. Yep.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so during the pandemic, we were the kind of like the only extracurricular activity that you could come to. So we had like 70, 80 kids, like literally. And so when things opened back up, other opportunities came. STEP is not for everybody.
Yeah.
So that's why we're in the process of, adding different things to the program so we can kind of give that sisterhood, because that's what we are, a sisterhood, so we can give that on different levels.
Absolutely. How did it start?
So during the pandemic, we were new here, And of course, Cheyenne couldn't find anything that she was interested in, nothing kind of like surrounded around the culture. So we searched and searched. And, one day she said, Mom, let's start a step team.
Okay.
So I agreed. Cheyenne was a competition stepper along with majorette and cheer with some praise and lyrical dance.
Okay.
And so she did competition step for about 8 years. So we started the team, and during the pandemic, it was kind of just a place for the girls to kind of go, kind of gather and have fun. All the way to now, they are second place regional champions for World Step.
Okay, that's what's
Yes.
up. That's what we want to hear. So Shy, you've been stepping for a while. You've been getting your dance on, as they
Yes.
say. What kind of prompted you to have that conversation with your mom? Like, Mom, I want to start this dance, this step
Good.
team.
Because I was really depressed. I wanted to go home. I did not like it here.
Okay.
I wanted to go back to St. Louis.
Okay.
So instead of, I had talked to a couple of my friends, and then I talked to my dad, and then one of my really best friends had died, and I was like, well, I'm not going back there, so I'm gonna try to make the best of it as I can.
Yeah.
And so I put a post on Facebook and was like, I want to start a step team. I had like 100 people comment on the post.
What?
Yeah.
That was before I even.
Shoot, I wish I would have seen that post. I would be like, I want to be in the step team, but that's okay.
That
Go
was
ahead.
even before I told my mama about starting a step team.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I kind of forced her into it.
Right. Like, Mom, I got 100 people on this list that says I'm supposed to start a step team. What you gonna do about it?
It was crazy, know. And so we had a couple people that, one girl that was from her name is T, and she's still with us. And, she said, hey, I was on a step team, at South Mountain, but it's been many, many years, And so she came to the studio and we got busy. Well, we started off on Zoom.
Okay.
So we started classes on Zoom, just because it was still the pandemic. Everybody was pretty scared. But as soon as we could get outside in like maybe October, we were out there.
All right, I got a historic question to ask you about dance.
Okay.
Is the first line of dance is the two steps still in place? The side, how they do little sides,
No, ain't nobody doing
Ain't nobody doing that. That's not a
No,
style.
no.
Okay.
No,
Now I know. I bet they stopped doing that.
Well, we can do it.
Okay, you can. Okay.
Yeah,
And
no, you with me.
Okay.
Yeah,
How those
48.
people who's not dancing? What are we supposed to do? What's supposed to be our steps?
Me, honestly, I don't know, because I do the two-step when I'm in the club.
Okay. So all right. So we got all right.
Or you just gotta learn the TikTok.
TikTok is such there's a culture there that teaches you
Yeah.
how to dance, how to move, and maybe I should start doing some TikTok dances.
Yeah,
I
you
feel that
should.
way. I want to
Yeah.
do it with my staff, but I'm still waiting for them to come around that mountain. They're gonna be my backup, just in case if
Yeah.
I mess up, my staff got my back. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
for sure.
They were like, we were just practicing. We put
For
the wrong
sure.
post up. That's
I
it.
mean, it helps with like the views. The girls are on TikTok, and we have a good time with the challenges and stuff like that. And it's a great icebreaker, to be honest. It really is. Yep.
So you guys found a new way to help people, because mental health is a real thing.
Absolutely.
And this is a safe space for young ladies. Or do y'all accept men too? Does boys step too?
So we have been trying to get a boys team going. If you
Okay.
are interested, go on our website.
Okay, what's the
And
website?
the website is prettysteppin.org.
Oh, prettysteppin.org. Come on,
prettysteppin.org.
somebody.
So
There
we-
is no G.
There's no
No G.
Okay, step in.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
step in.
All right,
Step in.
Yes.
good.
And so we've tried to get boys, and so when we started with all girls, we catered to ages 7 and 17.
Mhm.
And so as you can see, our colors are pink, black, and silver.
Okay, I
So
like pink.
yeah, when the boys come in though, they like,
I don't like
"It's
pink.
girls here,
See,
so we
right.
have to kind of like find a space for them, to feel comfortable. But honestly, the girls have been going they are so busy,
Okay.
that when we
So
have
so you
time.
open for everyone, but it seems to be more young ladies are gravitating
Yes.
to the dance, even though you would like to have everyone being a part of dance, because
Absolutely.
men dance too.
Stepping is big,
Yeah.
it's big
There's
in
a
the
lot.
fraternities.
A lot of more boys step teams than there are girls step teams.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And so when we came here, Pretty Precise was kind of, it just kind of formed. I said, we're going to call it, I was walking up the steps and I'm like, we're going to call it Pretty Precise. And that's just where we were. So we kind of geared towards girls because Cheyenne was on an all girls team.
Okay.
But back home where we're from, we have, co-ed teams and stuff like that.
Okay.
So boys, they bring a lot more power, but we
Okay.
got some pretty powerful girls, as well.
Okay. Now you guys have been stepping for a while, and you talk to us about your national championship. I know that you guys went pretty far. Tell us about getting ready for that. Tell me a little bit more. Help us digest this because I like to dance. I've never danced at the next level. I mean, I get up there and I be doing all kinds of stuff. Well, first of all, I'm not going to show you all my dance moves because Chandler, you are not ready for this. Okay, you're not ready for this. All this energy on the dance
Right?
floor. You're not ready for this. But I will say that. Tell us about your journey, going as far as you went in your tournament that you were participating in.
It was a
So
struggle.
it was a struggle, but we are a professional and competition team, right?
Okay.
So when we started during the pandemic, it was kind of like everybody come in. Everybody was like, "Oh, this is new. This is what they're doing." And we are the only team that teach from beginner level to competition.
Okay.
And it's truly about the children. It's truly about the support that they have from their parents. We have some kids that come in and they might not have it, but after a couple months, they really have it because they have that support system. So getting them ready and having a bunch of children that have been in the house, right,
Right.
during the pandemic, and mom is like, y'all need to be quiet, right? So when they come to the studio, it's loud.
Okay.
It's loud. You can be free. It's a free space. You yell. We do chanting, which is, loud. So the girls, we had to get them used to making noise.
Mhm.
Believe it or not,
Okay.
they did not make noise. And I think Cheyenne, she does all the main choreography,
Okay.
for the step, and I kind of just clean it up. You
Okay.
know, step is a lot of discipline. So getting them, taking them on the highs and lows. When I call attention or we call attention, everybody knows stop what you're doing.
Mm.
But we do allow them free space, free conversation. We do have like a circle
Mhm.
at the end of practice. And so they tell us about their week, what they did to help somebody. And believe it or not, it's truly therapeutic. If
Mm.
we don't do that for them, they are like, Coach, we didn't have our circle, because they want to tell me.
Right.
They want to tell us what's happening. And believe it or not, if they have challenges at school, bullying, different things like that, we are anti-bullying program. I'm gonna get on the phone and say, "Hey, mom, did you know that some boy did this and that?" So we really are advocates, and for the girls.
Do you need to have, Sean, do you need to have experience? Do you need to have a formal background to be a part of this organization in dance, or do you guys train? You help everyone, including they say the two left feet, the person that got the
Yes.
two left feet. So,
They don't have to have a background. I train them up from the very beginning.
and then when you're in that process, is it frustrating dance? Trying to teach someone who's never danced before, someone that's not that doesn't have necessarily a count to rhythm. How
Mm,
is that?
It's very frustrating, but that's where she comes in at.
Okay.
So it's not as frustrating for the children.
Okay.
So it's more the parents, right? So when you bring your child in, you want them to get out there. You like, I used to do this,
Right. Right.
but the kids
I used
out
to do
there,
electric slide back in the
right?
day.
But
I
the
used to tear the clip up
kids,
with it.
it's a process. You
Yeah.
have to trust the process. And so some people and the parents, they get impatient, and they may pull them out or whatever. And I'm like, you don't need to pull them out. Like, let them go, let them have the experience. We baby our children, as soon as something, isn't going how they expected. But we don't make any excuses at Pretty Precise in the studio. It's go hard or go home. And you
Mhm.
can't go home to practice over, so you might as well go hard, right?
Right.
I
And
mean,
so, yeah.
I have probably 6 or 7 kids who started out with 2 left feet,
Now they're the best stepping people you will ever see.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
Yes.
So you guys do a lot of events in the community.
Absolutely.
And you know that's important because the community is you're here, you're based in Chandler, right here in home city of Chandler.
Absolutely.
But you're gonna be participating in the State of the City address. That's
Yes, we
coming
are.
soon, y'all. Y'all gotta come. But tell us about the engagement community because I know that you guys have been stepping. You did Juneteenth events, you've done cultural related events. You've been in other cities outside of Chandler. How has that been in terms of how your team correlate to the community? What's the correlation, and why is being in the community so critically important to your foundation?
Well, first of all, we're a nonprofit, we're 501c3. So getting the community involved and just really, setting the standard of how we should care for our children, right? Because they are the future, they the future doctors, they the future, lawyers and things like that, and making sure that we support them, on and off the stage. So getting in the communities, making people aware, we don't just have children that are model citizens, that come from, all different these girls, they come from everywhere, broken homes, ADHD, foster children, and we treat them all the same. If you've ever seen Pretty Precise, not a hair is in place. I mean, out of place. You know what I'm saying? And every shoe, every girl is treated the same. So if you didn't feel good when you got there, you will by the time you leave, for sure.
So you have a way of inviting. What's the process when they do come in and you're saying, hey, look, this is new. I don't know any of these people. What do you have in place? What have you've told the participants when a new person come in and they feel uncomfortable? What's your advice to them?
I really don't have to say anything because the girls are so friendly. They'll walk up to you and be like, "What's your name?"
Yeah. So we have.
So it's a culture there.
Oh yeah. So we've trained the girls. They know. It's no bullying. Everybody is positive. So I can depend on the girls that have been with us to support the other girls. And Cheyenne is very good as well. She comes and when the girls are struggling, she'll do a little one-on-one, and I'll take the front of the class while she's helping them. So we kind of work together to make them feel comfortable. And of course, encouraging them like it's your first day,
Yes.
you got it. Everybody kind of started out the same way,
Everybody cries on their first day.
Oh yeah.
When I was stepping, I wanted to quit. I wanted to leave.
Wow.
Cheyenne was a cry baby, right? Jesus. So, she was like, I hate it. I'm quitting. I'm like, I paid my money. You ain't quitting nothing.
Get back in there.
So, I mean, you just never know. Sticking with your kids through even the trials, if I would have let her quit, then, she wouldn't have the organization.
One day I was laying in my bed. She was like, "What you doing? You got practice?" I was like, "I'm not going."
And
Wow.
we get that, so I can support, the parents. And so when the girls come and the parents are telling me the different stories, I'm a mom just like you, so I started this project with my daughter so that she can feel comfortable, so that she can, be okay with the move and, the new environment and, just do something positive. So the same fight that they have, to keep their kids on track is the same fight that I have to keep the organization going.
Well, I thank you guys so much for coming and being a part of this conversation. Truly, it's been great. And tell people your website again. Tell them how they can follow your organization.
Well, you can follow us at Pretty Steppin, PrettySteppin.org. And I just want to mention that we are having a masquerade ball January 6th, and it's a fundraiser for everybody that would like to come. We have some sponsorship opportunities available, as well as some silent auction opportunities, the whole nine. So please visit our website, follow us on Facebook at Pretty Precise Step Team, as well as _Pretty Precise Step Team on Instagram. And
follow our TikTok at _Pretty Rich Girls with a Z.
All right.
And also you can catch us in the Fiesta Bowl next. That's where we'll be.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you again for tuning in for Power Conversation with Councilman OD Harris. Today we was able to hear from Miss Juneteeth And we were able to hear from Pretty Precise Step-In Team. Listen, both are moving Chandler forward. And I was so glad to have both of the guests on our show. Listen, we thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.